Hello everyone, this is A32 back again for another edition of What's on Kickstarter. We're just going to look at Kickstarter this video. I'll do a separate one for the non-Kickstarter stuff. And before I get into that, well, you know what, we'll talk about that later. So let's get on with what's going on in the world of Kickstarter. Of course, that's what this video is all about, seeing what's new in the world of Kickstarter. First of all, we got the Bicycle 4 Seasons Autumn playing cards from Collectible Playing Cards, which is funded 11 days to go, and they just relaunched the Winter Edition as well of the 4 Seasons, and it is funded with 24 days to go. So both of those doing pretty good. For some reason, when they did all 4 decks at once, it did not work. I don't know why it was, but they're doing them individually, and they're doing pretty good. Aside from the Spring Edition, which didn't pan out too well for some reason, but it will come back, I'm sure. Can't have just 3 seasons or 2 seasons, got to be all 4. And only 1,100 decks being printed apparently for each one. They're pretty limited. That's a nice back design and nice modified standard faces, nice custom pips. You know, they're pretty cool. I'd like to be able to, pledge for all 4. This is why, if anything, I may wait for the spring or summer edition, whichever one is the last one, and just pledge for all 4 at once. If that's, if I'm lucky for that, if that happens. Next up, we got another new one from PlayingCards.net. Is the Bicycle Ophidian, which is snake related. It's all about the hypnotic beauty of the snake, as it says right there. And this is designed by Six Sisters Playing Cards, which is fine, except that it looks like more of the same, unfortunately. 2,500 being printed. I do like the back design, it's different. I like all these snake elements. Kind of got a snake skin type pattern in there. You got snake heads, it looks like, on the 2 sides. You got snakes all over the place wrapped around in there. And you got a nice snake eye in the center. It's pretty cool, and a nice red border kind of matches the center part. However, the faces are not red. And the faces look like the Bicycle Mystiques that they did before, except with snake elements on the pips. The core cards have been modified a bit, but I mean, it's rather disappointing. First of all, these core cards, to me, they don't fit the theme at all. And secondly, the faces, for the most part, it just looks like the Mystiques modified, and that's not exciting to me. I want to see something different, not just a modification of the previous deck. And so yeah, that's a pass for now. It's something I'll look at later on. It will be available on their website and elsewhere anyway. So it's not like it's something you need to pledge for on Kickstarter to get right now. Chameleon Playing Cards by Carter Street Collective is 85% funded, 7 days to go. I'm sure it will hit the funding goal at this rate. It's a matter of time. Essential Playing Cards by Mankin Channels, I'm pretty sure I mentioned last week, is 33% funded, 22 days to go. And I'm really not a huge fan. Actually, maybe I didn't show it to you. Maybe we should look at that. Actually, I'll just look at the updates section, see when it launched. It did launch October 1st, so I probably did not show it to you. So let's look at that, because that would have been last Sunday. It probably launched after my video. This is the second project. He previously did the Cultura Playing Cards, which were decent. I never got that one, but it was an interesting idea. This one, is to be printed by Legends, which is fine. The core cards, I mean, I like the colors, I like the bodies, but the faces, Not so much. I mean, you look at them, and I think now I remember Sony these, but you look at them, and I'm mostly seeing from a distance eyeballs. You don't see a whole lot of detail in the face. And the pips are okay. I mean, overall, they're not bad. And the aces are pretty nice. I thought the pips. The jokers, again, they're okay. To me, it's an okay deck. The back design really does not do anything for me. It's very kind of plain and simple and standard-ish. Um, so I mean, it's an okay deck, but okay does not cut it for me when it comes to Kickstarter. The deck's got to be good or better than good. You know, it's got to be something different, unique, and this one is really not all that unique or different. It's fairly standard. The travel ban playing card by David Taylor. I'm pretty sure I mentioned last week. 0% funded, 18 days to go. Or maybe I didn't show it to you. There's really nothing to show anyway. It's, to me, it looks like it's inspired by something that is racist motivated, travel bans, and all we're seeing is the Ace of Spades has United States of America on it. That's it. It's lame, lackluster. There's nothing there, and it's not going to fund. Evolve, Futuristic Point Guard by Lynn Nguyen is 39% funded, 58 hours to go. It is just not going to make the cut at this rate. I mean, anything is possible. There's still plenty of time, a couple of days left, but I don't see it happening. Bicycle Mad World playing cards from Magic Trick Store, aka Collectible Playing Cards, is funded. 3 days to go. Nice to see that one funded. It's a pretty unique, colorful deck. See, that one is unique. It stands out. It's different. It's not standard. Yeah, yet it's still usable. And it's colorful. It's different. Lunatica playing cards from February Industries is well funded. 13 days to go. Definitely recommend checking that one out, especially if you like beautiful queens, as you can see. Twisted Wonderland, Mega Playing Cards by Cards Enthusiast, has relaunched. It is 28% funded, 24 days to go. And I'm not sure it's going to fund this time again. The problem is, they have reduced the goal, but it's still 14,000 euros. And previously, in the last one, they got like 5,000 bucks in the project, funding-wise, out of like a $32,000 goal or whatever. So, I mean, are they going to hit 14,000 when they only got like 5,000 last time? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that one might have been canceled before it ended. So who knows? I mean, the artwork is fine. The court cards are pretty interesting, but again, I feel like I've seen decks like this before, court cards like that before, so it's not that new or interesting. And it's not like we haven't seen Wonderland decks before. The back designs leave a little bit to be desired. Is that a one-way back design? That's even worse than I thought. Wow. Yeah, no. A one-way back design really kills it for me, unfortunately. Especially with the type of deck it is. I mean, the artwork is fine. It is, well, it's manga. I mean, I guess it is different a little bit than what I've seen in the past, but it's still similar. But I mean, I'm not really a manga fan. And the art is fine. The number cards are fine. You know, everything's pretty decent. Interesting aces. But the back designs, being a one-way, really kind of hurts it, I think. And it's not just, whoops, it's not just these bunnies in the center of the clock, but also you see pips in the corners, which make it a one-way, and it just seems, and everything overall really, it seems unnecessary. Make it mirror image, make it more, you know, user-friendly, stuff like that. The faces are mirror image. Why are not the backs mirror imaged? Moving along. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want to see something here very quickly. Loading, loading. I hate loading times. Okay, here's another problem that I just noticed with this project. Way too many add-ons. They got t-shirts, which is fine, but then they got pillowcases with stuffing. I guess it's a pillow. It's 39 euros US for a pillow. iPhone cases, 24 bucks or 24 euros US for an iPhone case. And it's like, hey, who really wants these things? And who's going to pay for that type of stuff? And the problem with stuff like this and add-ons is that you're not going to have too many people wanting this iPhone case or this pillow. So it's going to cost you X amount of money to produce X amount of pillows and iPhone cases, because you can't just produce, whatever people order. And it's going to cost all this money to produce these items, and you're only going to be getting small fraction of that money because there's not a lot of interest for that, I'm sure. So, doing stuff like that on projects, it sounds like a good idea on paper, but in the end, it's not. I've seen other projects, and people check out Albino Dragon had a good write-up on their experiences running projects like Name It or Win, and they talked about stuff like that. Sometimes, you see creators trying to sell stuff like that, and it's a lot of money to produce something for a very minimal amount of customers. And it's not really worth it. Arcs Playing Cards by Lisa52 and Charles Glass is 73% funded, 8 days to go. It, may or may not make it. We'll see. Boars V2 by Empire Arts is 61% funded, 9 days to go. I don't know if it's going to fund. I don't care if it funds. I hope it doesn't fund. Because these guys have on more than one occasion blatantly taken other creators' artwork and used it for their own projects. And they've been busted for it as well. And I just don't think that should be encouraged or supported. Draconian and Knights Playing Card by Randy Butterfield. I have reviews on the prototypes on my channel you can check out if you want to see what they actually look like a little bit better. They are funded, 23 days to go. Cartomancer by Alain Benoit is 90% funded, 14 days to go. Just a matter of time. I'm really happy about that because you can see just by looking at that picture, and I've shown you the cards before, he has put in a lot of effort to design this deck, and that deserves to be rewarded. I got no problem rewarding or promoting creators who actually put in the effort and produce something interesting and different and unique, and that definitely is the Cartomancy theme. Next, we got the Free Stooges Playing Cards by Chris Chelko, and 18% funded, 22 days to go. It does not look like it's going to happen this way. They are a fifth of the way. They need, not even a fifth of the way, they need $55,000 US for this to fund, and I don't see it happening. I think it's kind of weird that Jackson Robinson has not been promoting this anywhere. He designed these decks. He has not been promoting them on any of his social media like Facebook or Instagram. He has not promoted it on his other projects, and that really hurts it, and I don't know why. Is it because of his name value has gone down a little bit? Because I don't think that's really the case, despite all the turmoil on the forums and issues that I've personally had with him. But I think personally, part of the problem with this one is they were not offering any add-ons last I checked. Let me just see here. Yeah, okay. First of all, A, they're not offering any add-ons. B, the tiers only allow you to pledge for either free first edition decks, the free unnecessary deluxe first edition decks, which are just different tuck cases for more money, or excuse me. Oh, I apologize. Or actually, they've changed it a little bit. Or you can pledge for the Premium Collector's box set. But they've actually changed it. They've added on so that you can pledge for a set of originals and deluxe first editions, or a premium collector's box set and a original set. But still expensive, and so far, I mean, they've not managed to get a whole lot of support. 107 backers, and they need about 500 backers, and I don't see that happening. I mean, really, they're not doing that fantastic. 22 people got the first, the standard ones. 32 backers are pledged for the first edition. They've gotten 20 that are pledged for the two sets, 21 that are pledged for the premium collector's set, and 10 that are pledged for the premium collector's plus the original set. And that is expensive. $125 for that box with the free decks. And the free decks are $60 each, so you're paying $65 for that box. I think that sounds excessive. Just a little bit. Maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, I could be wrong. But part of the problem, I think, there's a few problems. First of all, I think A, it's really expensive, these decks. B, the art really isn't doing it for me, and the heads look like they were copy and pasted onto some of Jackson Robinson's tally ho code cards, basically. And they just don't look good. They look goofy, and I mean, I guess they're supposed to be goofy, but they don't look good. They look copy and pasted. It looks like a MERS 67 deck with fancy chord cards. The Ace of Spades, again, kind of just looks like a Jackson Robinson Ace of Spades that's been modified a bit. The back designs, they really don't do it for me all that much. I mean, do you really want to be playing cards with these faces staring at you? I like, the overall feel of the back design is pretty nice, but I don't think that the faces really fit on there that well. Maybe if there's all three faces on one back design instead of three different decks, and the faces weren't in your face so much because they're small, because there's three of them, it might be better. I don't know. But another problem I think this project has, I mean, there's also the massive goal, $55,000, which is big, and I understand there is licensing costs, but as a creator, you have to go, okay, wait a minute, are these licensed? Is it really going to be worth it with these costs? Are we going to be able to recoup these costs? And it doesn't look like that's the case. And it's kind of like the whole thing is the fruit really worth the squeeze? Doesn't seem like it is. And on top of that, also, I think they think that they seem to think that maybe there is this massive amount of fans looking for this, and I just don't think that there is a whole lot of fans for Free Studios. It's something that is from a bygone era. It's from like the 60s or whatever it is, the 50s. They're barely even on TV nowadays, except maybe during the holidays, reruns, and it's something that there is a limited appeal, I think, nowadays. So that hurts a little bit, and I think that if there are a lot of diehard Stooges fans, that they're probably looking for other stuff that is vintage memorabilia related to the show or related to the actors, as opposed to expensive new playing cards like this. And that's that. Also, I want to point out we've seen how many decks from like Albino Dragon and other creators that were licensed, and they did not have $55,000 goals. And if part of that $55,000 is because they're doing free decks instead of one, or even six instead of three, they need to reevaluate that. There's no reason for these unnecessary, expensive top cases as well as standard top cases. Just do free decks. You don't need six decks. Anyway, next up we got Art of the Patent by Kevin Prince, which is well funded. 5 hours to go, 4 different decks. And the back designs might not be the greatest, but I do like the overall, idea of the decks, and each one having different types of patents. And it's great if you like history and stuff like that, and I'm down for that. I like historical stuff, so I'm looking forward to getting those. The Journey deck, Empire Playing Cards by Tony Porteas. I haven't looked at this one before. I don't know a whole lot about the Empire universe. Actually, I know nothing about it, but there's a tarot deck for that. It looks pretty interesting. It is funded, well funded, with 19 hours to go. New York Playing Cards by Mikel Spatola is not going to happen. 10% funded, 47 hours to go. And that is exactly what the result should be, because there's little effort put into this. It's not appealing, and it should not fund. Oculus Playing Cards by Mike Wilson, aka the Duck 318, designed by Randy Butterfield. Very nice looking, very interesting, eye-catching if you will. It's well funded, 10 days to go. Then there is the FU deck. I'm only going to call it the FU deck because apparently my video last week was flagged by YouTube, and it was I went onto YouTube and it said that this video was not advertiser friendly, whatever that means, and whatever that means. But I mean, I'm gonna try to watch my language. This is it's the FE deck by O&B Magic. It is 73% funded, 7 days to go, and I don't know if it's gonna fund. There's a possibility, but there is also, I think, a limited appeal for a deck like this because of what it is and what it's called. Not everyone, I mean, performers are not going to want this. A lot of cardists probably aren't going to want it. It's not that appealing. And obviously collectors are not interested. Next up, you get the whole 9 cards. Punny playing cards. It's all about puns by Tom Stone. 0% funded, 14 days to go. Again, it's got $0 spreads. That is horrible. But it is a horrible deck. It's not usable. It's got one index from what I can tell. The back design is just a bunch of words. It just says the whole 9 cards. Punny playing cards. And then the faces, they just got puns on them. I mean, really? That is horrible. And lazy and lame. No pun intended. That wasn't even a pun. I don't know what I'm saying. Foliage playing cards relaunched by Ace of Clubs, Magic, and Cards. 25% funded, 6 days to go. Is not going to happen again. It's the type of deck that, would be something that you could, let USB-C produce and sell, and that, it would work for sell it for $5 or $6, it would work. But $12, $13, $15, whatever it is they're looking for on Kickstarter for a fairly standard deck is not going to work, as you can tell. Then we got the former point cards by TCC, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned last week. I'm not a huge fan. It's by TCC Cardistry. It's their third account now. It has many projects, and it is 72% funded, 19 days to go. I'm sure it will happen, just a matter of time. Bicycle Essentials by Nathan Goldberg, aka Nathan's Pragmatic Magic, is 24% funded, 11 days to go. This is a relaunch, and it's still not going to happen, and it's not really that appealing to me or anything. Then we got the Alice in Wonderland Luxury Playing Cards by Will Roya. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this one before. It's funded, 7 days to go. I mean, I know I've mentioned it before because it's been on Indiegogo once or twice and didn't make it. But Will Roya has taken the reins on this project and has gotten it funded. I'm not sure I'm really feeling it, and I think that for me, it seems like there's a lot of white around the borders, around the edges of the cards because of how it's designed, and that really doesn't appeal to me too much when it's so thick around the edges. And again, I don't know, not really feeling it overall, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get it later on. Won't be the first time. Custom Splash Painting Playing Cards by Lauren is 14% funded, 16 days to go. I don't see it happening. I'm not sure if I mentioned this one last week or not, but we'll go over it again. Anyway, this is what you get. This is the back design right there. It's basically paint splatters, basically. There's a fire and ice playing card deck. As you can see, it's just generic NPC faces. No effort put into that whatsoever. And then there's the color blitz back. There is the winter painting back. And they got black borders on them for some reason. And then there is the Mystic Splash and the Anger Splash. So that's like 5 different decks. All they've done is basically splattered paint on a thing and go, okay, here's the back design. Really? I mean, I appreciate the artistic creativity in these paintings, I guess, but that does not make a back design, does not make a good back design, is not something people want for a back design necessarily, especially with thick ass black borders like that. Oh, watch my language. I apologize. I'm gonna get it's not advertiser friendly thing again, probably. And it's not like I get that much money from advertising as it is. Probably enough for a couple of decks a month if I'm lucky. Um, the back designs, they got these big, thick borders in black, which really doesn't help it at all. Especially if it was borderless, it'd probably be cardistry friendly, as long as the quality was decent, which I'm not betting the quality is going to be decent since they're producing limited quantities for NPC, and nothing against NPC, and the quality is usually not too bad, but it's probably not something that artists are interested in. And I don't know, I'm not a fan of projects like this where people go, okay, here's a back design and some generic faces. Here you go. No, this is not a Kickstarter project for me. This is not, something that people are interested in, and it's a pass. Next, you get the Life deck by the Mossa Family and Company, which is amazingly 44% funded with 10 days to go. I don't see it happening. There's not a whole lot of appeal for sperm and eggs on back designs, and I'm surprised it's gotten that much funding. Harmony by Rana Mahmoud, as I've probably mentioned before. As you can see, it's not overly exciting. It is 4% funded, 24 days to go. Not her first project, and it won't be her first failure. And it's just not appealing. The color scheme, what she's done with the court cards, not feeling it. Operator deck by Olympus Defense Solutions is 7% funded, 16 days to go. Again, not going to happen. And again, it's a unappealing one-way back design with so-so faces. Then we got the Queer Feminist Playing Cards and More by Carlos Sayan Tahida. And it is funded, 14 hours to go. It seems like it's a week-long project and only a $500 goal. And I'm not liking it. Because it's not loading. Alright, there we go. First of all, is that the back design? Queer feminist playing cards? Because if it is, that's horrible. The faces got some Gloria woman on there, Gloria Anzaldúa. Apologize if I don't know who she is. And it's a sideways thing. Why? I have no freaking idea. But it's lame. It's lamer than lame. And that's all I'm seeing. One image for the playing cards. There's lots of other images here for mini posters. Don't know if these are going to be the faces of the cards. I don't know what the back design of the cards is. There's bookmarks. There's all sorts of stuff here that they're selling. A lot of artistic stuff here. But when I look at the project name, it says playing cards. And I'm not seeing the playing cards aspect except for a Queen of Hearts. And it is $5 for this deck of cards that you don't even get to see. Yeah, no thank you. $9 for 2. Wow. Free for $12. It gets cheaper as you buy more. I mean, that's the correct thing, but still. Yeah, no thank you. Next up, we got the BS cards, which is absolutely BS. It's by Bowtime Games. 0% funded, 24 days to go. And 0% funded is probably where it's going to stay at. The back, these cards are just generic, cheap-ass faces, as you can see. Again, my language, I apologize. $3,000 goal for this. Generic faces, generic cards printed by a generic cheap printer. Like, which one is this one? I'm not even sure which one this is off the top of my head. It's not NPC. It's cheaper than that. And the back design, it just says BS with some kind of a black blob and a Bowtime Games. Really? That's your back design? This is your creative idea? I don't think so. Good luck with that, but nobody's going to pay for this. Especially when it's $11 for a deck. Are you kidding me? And apparently, It's good for the game of BS. I don't even know what the game of BS is, but why wouldn't you just use a standard deck of cards instead of this? No, thank you. The deck of Poetic Pinup by Harlan Carpenter is funded 4 days to go. Very low goal, as you can see, of like $750 or something. And I'm just not feeling it. The Sickly Tarot by Alpine Ruin is 27% funded, 23 days to go. That currency might cause an issue. I guess we could look at it. Nah. If you want to look at it, you can check it out. Or maybe I will. Come on. Oop, there we go. Question cards, okay. Let's try and see if there's anything else here for this week for playing cards wise, and I'm not really seeing it. A lot of game projects. Come on. That's going to be it. Those are funded projects already. This one looks like it has a deck of cards element. End of the trail. It's about the California Gold Rush. It is funded, 24 days to go, but I'm not feeling those playing cards. So let's not even worry about that. Let's quickly look at this one, the Sickly Tarot. I don't think I can make that the other. Oh yeah, the other one there. And it is, yeah, it's not very exciting. I mean, it's interesting, it's creative, obviously, as you can see, but it doesn't really appeal to me too much. And I don't even know what the suits are. I prefer tarot cards that have, you know, suits that I'm familiar with. So that is that for Kickstarter this week. Quite a bit going on. But nothing too exciting. Some projects that are doing pretty lackluster and a lot of lackluster projects. So that is that. Comment, rate, subscribe, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything on Kickstarter this week that you were interested in, or that you didn't like, or what you liked, or what you didn't like. Comment, rate, subscribe. Leave me some comments, some feedback. Let me know what you think about some of these projects. And I'll see you next time with more. Thanks for watching. If I can get this to stop, of course, because that always seems to be an issue. There we go.